welcome to Taylane Ducksworth Reviews. My name is Taylane. Today we're going to get into Charlie Kirk and how life and death are in the power of the tongue. Charlie Kirk spent years telling America that empathy was weakness, gun deaths were an acceptable price to pay for the Second Amendment. According to Vice President J.D. Vance, when he made the statement about black Ivy League graduates got into college based on affirmative action and not their intelligence or their works, and something about they did not have the brain processing power to compete. And he referenced in regards to former news anchor Joy Ann Reid, former First Lady Michelle Obama. Rest in peace and condolences to, I believe, Texas Congresswoman Representative Sheila Jackson Lee, as well as Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson. The young man passed Wednesday, September 10th, due to gun violence. He was shot at his own event. He goes to PWIs, predominantly white universities here in the United States, speaking his conservative values and views. This is commentary and critique under fair use. I'm not celebrating his death in no way, shape, form, or fashion. I can 1000% say that gun violence is a tragedy, period. Now, we are going to analyze the irony, the hypocrisy, and the consequences of Charlie Kirk's own words. I think that anybody and everybody that's doing that is a disservice to this man's legacy. He was proud, and he said several times, if you go back and look at the full videos in context, not just the clips, he was proud of the message that he was spreading. He didn't have no problem with it. I don't understand now why the GOP has an issue with it, with people with the media quoting him, because he was proud of who he was. Why should we now pretend that's not who he was? Like, this is absolutely crazy to me. So here's the contradiction. The same people who cheered when he mocked empathy, who gave him applause and clapped when he called Martin Luther King Jr. awful, who said the Civil Rights Act was a mistake, are now demanding that the public show him empathy. And that's the double standard, you guys. Now, Charlie Kirk was founder of Turning Point USA, one of the biggest conservative youth organizations in the country. His brand was culture war, fighting so-called woke policies, pushing anti-immigration rhetoric, attacking LGBTQ rights, attacking anybody that was a minority, and undermining civil rights leaders. Glenn Beck was on his channel talking about Charlie Kirk shouldn't be called anything other than a civil rights leader. Really? Is somebody playing a trick on me? Where are the cameras? What the hell is going on? That's revisionist history, don't you think? Now, Charlie Kirk was not an elected official. However, he was influential in his own right and to the people that he served. Okay? He shaped the way that young conservatives thought through Fox News appearances, what he was on podcasts, and those infamous Prove Me Wrong college tours, okay? Where he went around and debated the youth at the college campuses. He did use words as his weapon, which is perfectly fine. That's the right way to do it, and not through gun violence. And he also allegedly them recklessly, like, hurt a lot of people, okay? So imagine building a career of mocking compassion and then watching Charlie Kirk's supporters beg the public for that same compassion once you are gone, when you said that you hated that word, that you don't like empathy. I don't know this to be certain, but based on past history shows us that if Charlie was still here with us, I believe that he would have a problem with people asking for others to have empathy towards him when that's not something that he believed in. He also said, in pertaining to gun violence back in 2023, his quote was, "I think it's worth it to have, unfortunately, some gun deaths every single year so that we can have the Second Amendment to protect our other God-given rights." And he used the word worth it, a prudent deal and rationale. And then the irony of that is a gun is what claimed his life. I asked the question, if Charlie Kirk was still alive, since he is now the person that has been affected by gun violence and his life that has been taken, Would he feel the same way? See, we have a way of when things are not affecting us individually or affecting somebody we love or somebody in our family, we look at things differently. But when things affect us, we have a completely different perspective on it, a completely different reaction when things affect us personally. When you have to see the pain, feel the pain up close and personal, you have a different view. Now, we are now in September, 9 months into 2025. We've had 47 mass shootings in that time frame. I don't think the guns need to be done away with, but I do believe that there are certain laws that need to be put into place and certain rules that need to be put into place when allowing people to have access to guns. The young man Tyler Robertson, allegedly, who was the suspect who's now been arrested, allegedly that was his grandfather's rifle that he gained access to. Had there been a law to prevent that, where that gun should have been locked up, if he had to go through a whole bunch of stuff to get that weapon, maybe he wouldn't have achieved his mission. Charlie Kirk called MLK Jr. awful, and he argued that Dr. King should not be celebrated. Now, I want y'all to think about it. The GOP and the Republican Party is asking for us to have empathy towards Charlie Kirk when he consistently stated the Civil Rights Act, which is an act that gave me and my siblings the ability to be free and build a life for ourselves and not be harmed and violated, to be able to live where we want to shop, go to the schools we want to go to, work the jobs we want to work, and pursue the careers that we want to pursue. The Civil Rights Act that allow us to be able to do that, he believes that that never should have happened. He believed that was a mistake. Dr. King was a man who fought for peace, dignity, nonviolence, racial justice, and equality. And he realized in the end, before he lost his life, I believe one of the quotes that Dr. King said, that he allegedly believed that he had ran his people or took his people into a burning building. Yeah, because you was more focused on us having equality, not realizing if we don't have the economics to back it up, we still gonna be behind the game. And that's what actually happened. That's why we are struggling, fighting tooth and nail to own properties and to own businesses for us to have generational wealth. Charlie Kirk dismissed Dr. King as unworthy of a federal holiday. Meanwhile, Charlie Kirk's death is being painted as martyrdom. They are literally painting this man like he is the second coming to Jesus Christ. He went after Michelle Obama, Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee, Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson, as well as Joy Ann Reid. I don't understand how they could take everything that this young man said and turn it. Oh, they have a saying that just like with Trump, Trump can come out and say something, we'll hear about it, and then they'll get on CNN or Fox or one of the news outlets and say, "Oh, he didn't mean it that way," and then Donald Trump will come right behind him and say it again. "Oh no, he did mean it that way." But they telling us that our eyes doesn't see what it sees, our ears didn't hear what it heard. Charlie Kirk often suggested that black people were, get this, predisposed to crime, that we were born to be criminals. And then Trump was echoing those same sentiments a few weeks ago or a month ago in one of the news press conferences. He got up there and said that. Now, he didn't specify that it was black people. He just kept saying, when they refer to us now, they'll say they. When they're referring to liberals or Democrats, they say they. They would is specifically, they'll just say they, referring to us. He often suggested that black people were DEI hires and were unqualified, and that success by people of color came at the expense of white America, which is a damn lie from the pits of hell, is exactly what that is. Excuse me. And here's the irony. The same man who dismissed empathy, his supporters now plead for it. The same man who said gun deaths were worth it, unfortunately, he was removed from the land of the living by a firearm. The same man who minimized black achievement and black success is being treated like his death is a sacred moment in American history. I believe they voted to honor him. They had some kind of resolution where they want to platform Charlie Kirk fine school, colleges, institutions if they don't put up statues of him on their campuses. So you mean to tell me this man went against everyone that was not white American, and now you are asking all of the college universities to put a statue of this man on college campuses when this man belittled people and basically called them worthless? Yeah, right is right and wrong is wrong, and this is not right. This isn't about cheering or mocking, it's about the truth. And the fact of the matter allegedly is Charlie Kirk became a victim of the very reality he minimized. He said that in order for the Western world to be great and to make America great again, that you needed to be in a household with two parents that were Christian. And unfortunately, it was a young man that was raised in a house with a mom and dad who are Republican, who voted Republican, who also loved Trump, who were a part of MAGA. That's the young man that was responsible for taking him from his family and his supporters. He claimed if you were raised in a single parent household that you were destined to have a horrible life and a horrible future. But if you came from a Christian two parent household, you were going to be set up for success and you would be this amazing person. And that's the person that took his life. So when something like this happens, words don't vanish. They echo louder because now it's being, I'm quoting him now. Now his words are being quoted because of all the things that he said and because the Republican Party and his supporters are trying to change the narrative and whitewash who he was. You guys are doing a disservice to who this man was because he was proud. It's not like he was ashamed. That's not, at least not, that's not what I saw. He was proud of the things that he said. He was proud of the man that he was. So now you guys are trying to change him and erase his identity and turn him to something that he wasn't. So we're going to go ahead and wrap this up, y'all, really quickly. Before we do, let's talk about this martyr narrative. As I stated several times in this video, right-wing media is already working overtime, the Republican Party, Charlie Kirk supporters, to turn Charlie Kirk into a saint, saying he died for free speech and that conservatives are under attack. In the words of Donald Trump, the radical liberals, the radical lunatic liberals, as Donald Trump says, allegedly. But here's what's are seizing this moment to advance their political agenda. At Charlie Kirk's memorial yesterday in Arizona, and my heart does go out to his children. At his memorial in Arizona, President Trump and the top GOP leaders, you saw, who was that? House Speaker Mike Johnson, he was there. It was a surprise. Elon Musk was there, sitting side by side with Donald Trump, smiling. How you smiling at a memorial? Who smiles at somebody's memorial? And the entire memorial service was turned into a Trump rally, seems like it, allegedly. Because Trump and top GOP leaders framed Charlie Kirk as a martyr whose death proves their movement is under siege, that they under attack. Congress even passed, and that's why I say the Democrats, y'all don't have no kind of spine. Y'all a bunch of itches. Y'all don't have no kind of spine, no kind of integrity, allegedly, except for a few of them. They passed a bipartisan resolution honoring Charlie Kirk, while state legislators pushed for public memorials in his name. So everybody went through all the hard work to get all the Confederate people of the past removed from campuses, removed from the public. And here it is, somebody else that made a living and profited off of attacking and marginalizing everybody in the marginalized communities and the least of us. That's what this man's message was. Belittling others, putting them down, saying the most horrific things about people without a proof. And now Congress has successfully passed a resolution honoring this man and now threatening college universities that they will be fined if they do not put up and participate in public memorials in Charlie Kirk's name. And on top of that, Republicans are putting pressure on tech companies like Meta, TikTok, and X to censor our social media posts that quote or tell the truth about Charlie Kirk. They are saying that that's mocking Charlie Kirk's death, while simultaneously firing and suspending people for their commentary, including professors and staff at universities. This is insanity. The suspect, Tyler Robinson, we found out that he is a 22-year-old. As I said, he was born and raised in Utah. He was raised Christian and a mom and dad who are Republican and are MAGA. Now, Tyler Robinson himself, it was stated allegedly that over the last 2 years, I'm sorry, the last two elections, he did not vote at all. So technically, we don't know what political party he belonged to or if he even belonged to a political party as a grown up. But let the Republicans tell it, they are saying that because he went to college, he was radicalized. You mean to tell me that somebody that was raised in a Republican household their entire life for 18 years? I'm not sure when he moved out from his parents, but let's just say allegedly he was raised in the house with his parents for 18 years. He was raised and taught to love guns. There's all kind of pictures and everything. You see the pictures, here they go, of him even back when he was a little boy. Looks like he couldn't have been no more than 10 or 11 years old with his family, holding rifles. Looks like he was at all kind of gun shows, holding a rifle and things like that. And you mean to tell us with all of that, allegedly he went to college, and I believe it was a technical college and not even a university or community college that he went to. It was a technical or community college that he went to allegedly. He attended that school for one semester. You mean to tell me that that school was able to erase everything that he learned from the household that he was raised in? They erased that all in one semester of school and radicalized this man and made him left leaning. Cause if y'all don't get up out of here with that, don't nobody believe that but y'all. And I don't think the Republican Party believe that. Y'all just pushing it out to y'all base because that's the narrative that y'all pushing to try to push y'all political agenda. We have no proof what side of the aisle this young man was really on politically. Those text messages that came out, if you read that, that does not sound like a 22-year-old wrote those text messages at all. Some of the language that was in those text messages, a 22-year-old don't say stuff like that. So as I said, Tyler Robinson was raised in both his parents, his mom and his dad. Father is a 27, and as you can see him from the images, and that's the person that turned him in. So when the FBI, Cash Patel, them get up there and all them lying about the FBI said did such a wonderful job, if that man's father hadn't turned him in, they would still be looking for Tyler Robinson, allegedly. Now, his grandmother told reporters, and shout out to the Daily Beast, Charlie Kirk's grandma, I believe her name is Debbie Robinson, she came out and said that their entire family is MAGA, the whole family. And she said that they don't even know any Democrats. And y'all think about that. Now, Charlie Kirk preached that America needed more God-fearing conservative MAGA households, yet it was one of their own who pulled the trigger. And that's what Jimmy Kimmel said. What he said wasn't even that bad. So Donald Trump and this whole Jimmy Kimmel taking off air because of his ratings is a bunch of horse poo-poo, horse manure. So y'all, what did we learn here? That words matter. Rhetoric shapes cultures. You can dismiss empathy. Like I say, this is a free country. Don't feel so free now, but for the most part, this is a free country. You can dismiss empathy, but sooner or later, you or somebody you love will need it. You can say that firearm deaths are worth it until it's your own. You can attack black excellence, but truth always, always outlives lies. You can only tell a lie for so long. The truth will always be undefeated. Life and death are in the power of the tongue. Charlie Kirk's tongue built the contradictions his legacy now faces. And whether you love Charlie Kirk or you couldn't stand him, Charlie Kirk's death is a reminder that words do not disappear. They build worlds. Your words can wound people. Your words can hurt people. Your words can be the straw that broke the camel's back. Imagine somebody going through a whole bunch of stuff, and then they get online and they hear somebody speak the way that Charlie Kirk spoke about people. And let's just say what he was saying represents you and where you come from. And you already feeling low. And you hear somebody say something like this. Allegedly, that could actually, those words could make or break a person. So that's what I mean when I say your words can wound people. Your words can damage people. And your words also make legacies. So, as the Republican Party and the GOP try to turn Charlie Kirk into a martyr, remember the things that Charlie Kirk says. Remember the things that Charlie Kirk stood on business about. Remember his words and ask yourself, how will your words be remembered when you get on here to discuss him or put out content about him or make a post on social media? Think before you get to typing with your fingers because life and death is in the power of the tongue. And what you speak and what you type and what you write has a way of manifesting in its own way. And always remember, what goes around comes around. How will your words be? My name is Ty Lane. This is Ty Lane Ducksworth Reviews. Till next time, y'all be safe. Take care of each other. Be kind to be kind to one another. About what you're going to say. You know, do you want to be the person that are walk up to somebody and they having a bad day and you change their whole day? Or do you want to be responsible for bringing harm and pain and wounding another human being? Till next time, and I'm out.